Well, he didn't, let's put it, he didn't know he was sick. I could tell there was something off.
Which he doesn't, under the approval of license.
I'd like to call to order the Tuesday, November 18th, 2025 meeting of the Danville City Council. Madam Clerk, roll call to establish a quorum, please.
Mayor Ricky Williams Jr.,
Present.
Vice Mayor Eve Ludwig,
Present.
Alderman Ed Butler,
Present.
Carolyn DeToy,
Present.
James Pichard,
Present.
Tom Hightower,
Present.
Barry Johnson,
Present.
Mike O'Kane,
Here.
Mike Poor,
Present.
Rick Streebing,
Here.
Sherry Pickering,
Here.
Trisha Teague,
Present.
Jaleel Jones,
Here.
Doug Arns,
Here.
John Cooper,
Here.
14 present.
14 present. We do have a quorum. This time we'll have the invocation by Executive Pastor Doug Knack from Hope Unlimited Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Alderwoman Teague. Please rise.
Let's pray. I was going to pray the agenda there. I apologize. Before I say anything, it's an honor always to be with you. And thank you for all that you do. Father, we thank you. Your word says if any of us lack wisdom, that we are to ask you, who gives to all of us liberally and without reproach, and it shall be given unto us. So, Father, tonight we pray for God's divine wisdom to fill the hearts and minds of every city official. We pray for clarity in making decisions that align with God's plan for our city. We ask for discernment in distinguishing between right and wrong, and guide the steps of each one and lead them in the path of righteousness. And we pray tonight for divine insights to be able to handle some of the complex issues in our city effectively. We pray for divine strategies for economic growth and development. We ask God to bless the city of Danville with abundance and prosperity. We pray for innovative ideas and sustainable solutions for our city's economic challenges. And we ask you, Father, to guide our leaders in making wise economic decisions. You also say, Father, that in Proverbs 11, the integrity of the upright guides us, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their deceit. So, Father, we pray that our mayor, his team, the aldermen, and those who work for our city will uphold the highest levels of integrity. We ask, Father, that you would expose any form of corruption or dishonesty. We pray for transparent systems and processes in every part of the city. And we ask to instill a heart of sincerity in every city worker. And we pray that the city of Danville will be known for its honesty and its truthfulness. We also pray as we finish, you said in your word, behold, look, how good and pleasant it is when people dwell in unity. So, Father, I pray for peaceful relationships among our city officials. I ask you to break down walls of division and strife. And I pray for a spirit of cooperation and mutual respect among our leaders. And I come against any divisive plans or schemes of the enemy. And finally, Father, we ask our leaders to unify their hearts toward the common vision of our city. And we pray that now in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Doug. Alderman Teague. Pastor Doug, is there anything you'd like to share about anything you have coming up at the church or that you guys have recently?
We just like staying involved in the community. We're trying to help in every way we can. We're going to have we're going to help facilitate a dinner, a Christmas dinner, in other things going on, and for our foster parents in Vermilion County. We're going to be having that here in early December. We're actually going to help facilitate. We're going to be your staging area now for the parade at our church. So we're going to actually this year we're going to have the doors open, and we're going to have the ability for people to come in. We're going to have some refreshments and some cookies while you're waiting, because in the past it gets a little chilly or a little wet. So we're going to open that up for those couple of hours that you might be there. So we just love doing that, being a part of everything. So thank you again for the opportunity.
Thanks, Pastor Doug. We appreciate y'all. You have before you the minutes of the November 4th meeting. Is there a motion to approve those?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and second. Is there any discussion or debate? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. You also have before you an agenda this evening. However, there is one change. We need to remove item 7, the public hearing on the 2025 proposed tax levy. We provided that information to the newspaper, and unfortunately, they only printed the budget and not the levy. So we will have to delay that hearing so that we can be in alignment with the state law. So is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. I do not have any proclamations. Are there any there are also no board, committee, or personnel appointments. Are there any reports of boards, agencies, or commissions? I just want to Seeing none, I have a couple of items of information for you. Number one, I just want to congratulate Public Works and our city and also our partners through Farnsworth and through the construction company, Deuce Construction, as well as Schomburg and Schomburg, who helped us complete the Garfield Park and pool project. You already knew that we were named the project of the year in our category, which was $5 million to $25 million, which we were very excited and honored to receive. But then once we were at the meeting, when it came time to announce the project of the year, we were actually named the project of the year for the entire state too. So that was such an honor. We haven't had an honor from the APWA in almost a decade, so we were really excited about that. Also, I want to thank all of you who were able to join us for our tour of all of the some of the park improvements that we had recently. That was a great day. Especially enjoyed hearing from Mrs. Owen Nelson and some of the neighbors in Elmwood about how proud they were of the project that we were able to make come to life. We've had a number of folks in our community pass away recently who have done so much for this community, and we honor and salute all of them. But I want to give a special acknowledgement to former Director of Public Safety, Larry Thomason. Even after his retirement, he was someone that I could call and talk to and get advice from. And sometimes he would call me with a little unsolicited advice, but it was always to help me in the city. So I still called him Chief, and I just want to say, Chief, we'll miss you. Your family is in our heart and prayers, and we'll still be there for Miss Kay and everyone should they need us. That concludes my report at this time. At this time, I would like to open the public hearing on the 2026-2027 proposed budget. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak on the budget? Ask a second time. Seeing none, I will close the hearing on the 2026. Yes, Ms. Payne. Please come forward and state your name.
Good evening. I am Alice Payne, and I serve on the library board, and I'm here today to respectfully ask for you to reconsider cutting the library budget while keeping the levy unchanged this year. We have recently hired a new director, and it is important to allow him and his staff the opportunity to thoroughly review the budget and identify where adjustments can be made. He started on November 3rd. Looking ahead to next year, we already anticipate increased costs in group health insurance, higher employee contributions to the Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund, and we hope to provide our employees with a cost of living increase. For these reasons, I urge you not to limit our new director's ability to step into his role and carefully assess what is truly needed to serve our community. Thank you.
Ms. Payne, for clarification, are you speaking on behalf of yourself or the entire board?
I'm speaking on behalf as a library board member.
Very good.
With the permission of all the board members.
Thank you. Anyone else? At this time, I will close our hearing. Madam Clerk, at this time, do we have any petitions, communications, or audience comments?
We do. When I call your name, you'll have 3 minutes to speak. Please come to the podium. I have Jacob Daisy regarding the David S. Palmer Arena.
How are you? I'm Jacob Daisy. I'm on the board of directors of the David S. Palmer Arena. We have a comedy
Mr. Daisy,
show.
could you please raise it? Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
We have a comedy show coming up this Saturday. It's probably one of the first events that the David S. Palmer Arena has had in some years. I just wanted to come up here and let you know that the board is working hard. If you've been at the Festival of Trees, you've seen the bathrooms that we've redone. The team there has worked really hard in updating the facility and making it look great. We are at a little over 400 tickets sold with 0 comp tickets up at this event. So we are pushing forward and making strides into bettering that facility. Thank you.
Thank you. For those of you who aren't aware, the premier comedian, is actually Nurse Stank. His real name is Carson White, I believe. He's a local boy from Bismarck, and he has a national following such that he was actually able to resign his work as an awesome nurse, from what I hear, at the hospital. So excited to have him, and I believe that our own Chris Hightower is going to be emceeing the event as well. So it should be a good time.
Alice Payne of Danville for the Danville Public Library.
She
going to speak again?
No.
Okay. PJ Bourne of Danville, change of cul-de-sac.
Yes, my name is PJ Bourne, and I'm probably a regular here, but for a good reason. I'm here again because after hearing from Alderman this morning, and I responded to her, I'd like to share that with you as well. So I do want the street changed, but what I'm asking is, since it is not really a street, it's a cul-de-sac. And with that being in mind, I'd like for you all to consider the fact that it is a cul-de-sac that I'm asking to be changed. And if indeed you want to honor Dr. or Mr. Harding, whom I never met, I think that you should put him as an honorary and allow me the privilege of putting the street as the name that I've chosen. It will not be my name as it was with Mr. or Dr. Harding. It will be a name that I've chosen. And because it is a cul-de-sac, I would ask that you would amend or make the ordinance where anyone who lives on a cul-de-sac such as I and only have one house there have the same privilege as I do. And so therefore it is not really a street, it is a cul-de-sac that I'm requesting be changed and allow the honorary to be for Mr. Harding or Dr. Harding.
Thank you, Mrs. Bourne.
Alrighty.
Brad Zerman regarding the lounge and possibly the firing range.
Hi, I'm Brad Zerman, and I want to let everyone know that we completed like whatever work we were doing on the lounge. It's called Smoke Lab. It's at 7 Point. I know there's gonna be a vote on that tonight, and I want to extend like a warm welcome to the city and the mayor and the council and really anyone here that could get a hold of me if you want to just come by and check it out. I sent pictures so you guys could see it. You know, we could show you around and tell you all the fun we're gonna have in there. But just so you know, like there's gonna be nightly events in there. So like, for example, Sunday would be like movie night. We have a big screen in there. And then the rest of the events are music related. So like every Monday is music trivia, every Tuesday music bingo. And then there's like you could bring your record in, we'll play it on Wednesday night. And then Thursday is open mic night, Friday karaoke, and Saturday some form of live music. So we built a stage. The stage has a couple microphones, speakers, stage lights, so it'll be pretty fun for anyone who's on stage. And so we got our temporary occupancy permit, and then the only thing that's pending to get the full occupancy permit is because the stage, it's like a real stage, it's a foot high. We have to get either a ramp or electronic lift for ADA purposes if someone wants to do karaoke using a wheelchair. So we ordered this lift, and in like 8 weeks we're gonna have it. So like that's the only thing pending on our certificate of occupancy. But I really just want to welcome anyone to contact me, text me, email me, because you know we want to just show you around before it opens, and especially Chief Yates. Can we, you know, maybe meet up there this week?
Next week.
Sure. Anytime you're ready. Anytime you're ready. That's it. I just wanted to let everyone know that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zerman.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to address the council this evening? Seeing none, we do not have any zoning petitions. However, you do have before you the payrolls of November 7th and 14th, 2025. Is there a motion to approve those?
So made.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion or debate? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Alderman Butler,
Yes.
DeToy,
Yes.
Pritchard,
Yes.
Hightower,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
Streebing,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Arns,
Yes.
Cooper,
Yes.
14 yes.
14 yes, the motion carries. You also have before you the vouchers payable of November 12th and 18th, 2025. Is there a motion to approve those?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion or debate? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman DeToy,
Yes.
Pashard,
Yes.
Hightower,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
Strebing,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Arns,
Yes.
Cooper,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
14 yes.
14 yes, the motion carries. At this time, we'll receive our Public Works Committee report. Chairman Poor.
Thank you, Mayor. 13A is an ordinance to adopt the City of Danville honorary street naming policy and procedure. Move to suspend reading, ask for approval. Need a second.
Second.
Alderman Cooper.
Just a few questions. First of all, why 10 years?
That is based off of the lifespan or typical lifespan of a street sign. So time to renew it, possibly, and review it as well.
Second one would be explain or justify the 450.
Yeah, so it was based off of about a dozen other policies. I looked in the region and a couple were across state lines. Pulled a number that, for a lack of better words, that had some teeth to it. Make it a serious request. Strictly up for conversation, but it was pulled from other municipalities' policy.
But don't we, on a zoning issue or a zoning permit, it's a $200 fee, right?
Yeah, correct. And there is a little bit of basis to why it's higher. Verifying ward addresses for residency, maybe it's a spot check. There's possibly or probably going to be a little bit more administration work that goes into this, which would justify the increase from a zoning petition.
But we still have administrative work and a zoning petition too. I mean,
Correct. I would say not nearly as much as what this policy would require.
well, okay, I'm just from my personal standpoint, or I think the 450 is too high, and so I'm going to make a motion to reduce it down to $200, since this is a non-refundable, and I don't understand the non-refundable part either, but I'll go along with it. But I'm going to make a motion to make that fee a $200 fee instead of the $450.
Okay, is there a second to the,
I'll second that.
okay, so there's a motion and a second on the floor to change the 450 to 200. Still non-refundable, correct? Need a roll call on the motion.
Okay. Alderman Pashard,
No.
Hightower,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Poor,
No.
Strebing,
No.
Pickering,
No.
Teague,
Yes.
Ludwig,
No.
Jones,
Yes.
Arns,
Yes.
Cooper,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
DeToy,
No.
8 yes.
Yes, just squeak by. So any other question on so the motion is now, I mean, the ordinance now is for 200 rather than 450. That's what was just passed. Any more discussion on the amended motion? Alderman Teague?
Not on the amended motion, but I just have questions in general.
That's,
Okay.
it's already passed.
Okay. So I listened to last week's meeting to make sure that before I came and asked questions that they might have been answered already. So it wasn't clear to me from last week's meeting, and I also admit that I listened to it at 2 times speed, whether or not there are plans to create some process for a permanent name change request, such as the ones that came previously this summer by both ThyssenKrupp and by Mrs. Bourne.
So I guess that would be a direction from the city council or the mayor. From all of the research I didn't expect to do, but I did. It doesn't mean one doesn't exist, but I could not find another municipality that actually had an ordinance in place for renaming. So that thus is why I brought forth an honorary street naming, just to follow the precedents that I could find. It was quite extensive.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, and then the other question I had, which actually does come from last week's meeting, is I heard that there was conversation about, or something that was mentioned, like, well, if someone owns the street, they could potentially do what they want. Okay, so in the instance of, and this is an example that was brought up, and I was thinking it before it got brought up, when I heard it be brought up in the meeting. So in the instance of, I believe it's Washington and Commercial Street, which were both vacated portions, not the entire streets, right? Portions of which were recently vacated to the Untouchables Motorcycle Club. If they wanted to change the name of their portion of the street, because now they own the street, is that a possibility?
Well, it's not public right of way anymore at that point at all. I mean, it's just part of their property.
Understand, but their property also has a street address, and based on all of the other things that came up in the conversation last week as it relates to emergency vehicles, and various other things, right? If it was one of the things that came to mind as that discussion was happening. Well, if somebody owns a street, because we vacated it, and we're saying, actually two things came to mind. And we're saying, well, they could do what they want because they own the street, then technically, in that type of situation, if we vacate it to them and therefore, yes, they have all responsibility for maintenance, they could name it what they want.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is, though, I recall from the ThyssenKrupp explanation that occurred this summer that the reason why we were renaming the street at the time that we were renaming it, because the request was, the explanation was that things had to follow specific sequence and that we had to rename the street before we vacated the street to them. So those two answers they seem to be in conflict with each other. So I'm just hoping for some clarity as it relates to that.
I would agree. It would be somewhat backwards at this point with the example you used for the motorcycle club. The renaming of the street would be indeed backwards, because technically they would just be asking the city of Danville for an address change with the post office at that point, since the street is already in their ownership, right? So whenever I spoke about it in terms of ThyssenKrupp, whenever they requested the formal way to do it, because the city of Danville has the authority over that right of way, would be to request for the name change and then vacate it into their, so you have the actual ordinance in place of the renaming, and then you can get your address name changed, if that makes sense.
And so let's say, because I'm assuming since it hasn't come back yet, the ThyssenKrupp is no longer interested in going through us to change the name. I'm assuming that they still want the street vacated to them. And therefore, couldn't they just go ahead and do it later?
Yeah, in that example, they actually wanted to do the name change and not really the ownership of the roadway. I think that's what backed them away from that. We pitched the idea of, if you want to rename it, we'd like for you to own it. Same, yeah.
Okay. That helps me to understand better. And then, the other thing, my concern about this as it is written is that it seems very, very hard to actually get something passed because we require 2/3 vote of elected members. There are things that have much more significant impact to our citizens that only require 8 votes. So to me, 2/3 seems to be very, very excessive. So I'm not exactly sure the rationale behind the 2/3 vote, but to me that seems excessive as compared to everything else that we do. So I would love for that to be changed, but if not, then I would vote no for this just because it seems to be, we already require that anybody who wants to have an honorary name change, go through a process that requires them to do a lot of legwork and to pay money for it. And to me, requiring 2/3 vote could make it political. And to me, that's problematic.
Alderman Deacon, anything else?
Oh, no, that's it. Thank you.
Alderman Arns?
Okay, a couple of things, just moving through the policy. Item C, ineligible requests. What's the definition of temporary public figures? Who is that?
Yeah.
Is that us?
It's a great point. I think the intent behind that language is to try to cover every possible outcome in the next however many years.
I agree with it. I was just curious of the definition.
Good point.
The next one, I personally like the 2/3 request of the council to vote, simply because these things should be a clear decision by the community, and I think the 2/3 vote reflects that. The thing that I thought perhaps might be more challenging is getting 50 supporting petition signatures from each ward. I thought that was more, less reasonable than the 2/3 vote. And I'm not sure if that was brought out of other policies or what, but I would remove that, in my opinion. There should be a petition or some type of community support for that, but I'm assuming that's going to be part of the application process and them showing. So if you want to require, I don't recall if there was a minimum number of signatures on a petition for the application, but perhaps that's a better way to go than 50 from each ward.
Could it go on something like you do when you run for an alderman, where it's set by this few up to this many, depending on what ward it's in?
Maybe match the number that we have to have on our petitions?
Just a thought.
That could get confusing and adjust year to year. I would just suggest a flat number, 250, 500, whatever the number is. If you want something, walking for 250 signatures is not a piece of cake anymore.
No. What are you doing here?
So the next item I had was also the 450. I probably would have been better at 250, but if Alderman Cooper and everybody's comfortable at 2, I'm good with that.
Alderman
I agree
Arns,
it should be non-refundable.
Alderman Arns, do you, I apologize, just for clarification, did you want to make a motion regarding?
I did not make a motion. I thought if others commented and supported, we could
Okay.
make a motion to do that. Once again, the 2/3 I'm sticking with. The 50, if people want that, I can support it. Under the review process, number 1, community development missions shall review applications for, I would add in accuracy, completeness, and eligibility. Sometimes people get a little generous in their praise, and we would want to make sure that the events or the situations that are being proposed actually occurred, and there weren't downsides. And then they would then provide that data and any background research they did to the council prior to the council voting on it. And then the only other thing was, is the city reserving the right to relocate for public safety infrastructure. I think we should also have the right to terminate it. If something occurs that is not in positive light, the city council should be able to rescind that designation. And then as far as the cost of the sign, we got a good sign shop, and it should be a template. So we shouldn't be having separate designs for everybody's different signs. I like being able to attach a logo or something unique to it, but the rest of the sign should look consistent, and I don't mind if the city pays for those or who. But it shouldn't be a design contest with the proposal committee. That should be our staff saying this is what the sign will look like.
Doug, would number 4 under section 5 address that concern at all?
Well, as long as
right to remove the city.
Oh,
Or at council discretion.
Okay,
We
yeah.
need stronger language. Or
Down in number 5, you talking about?
Section 5, number
duration.
4.
Yes.
Would that address that?
What, to terminate?
City reserves the right to remove or relocate signs for public safety, infrastructure, or at the council's discretion.
It doesn't describe what brings it back to the council.
But that's where it should be.
But that's, I agree, that's where it should be. And if that's what that's intended to mean, then just some clarity on that. But, and I think that's all I had. But I can otherwise support where it's at.
Vice Mayor Ludwig.
Oh, I just want to say that I support what Alderman Arns is discussing here, and I don't know if we should make a proposed amendment or what we're going to do with this. I was hoping that Logan could please just discuss some of the reasoning and procedures and why some of it is strict and a little bit more of it is loose, and just go through some of this, because I think there was a lot of confusion at the Public Works meeting last week as to what this is and why this was brought before the council.
Yeah. So I believe this all began basically whenever ThyssenKrupp came for the renaming, and Ms. Bourne as well. And the research began, and as I stated, I was looking for renaming of roadway ordinances, and I could not find one. So that steered me in the direction that you see tonight, is the honorary roadway name request. Through the policies came in all shapes and forms. I didn't receive very much guidance up front, so to be quite frank with you, I tried to bring the house, right, and do what has occurred tonight. Try to filter it through. More of the policies than not had very strict requirements, and I believe that's due to what is common is they're trying to make it a serious request for serious community representatives or donors. Just look at the examples that we've seen in the past for what the city is already designated as honorary, which is Vicky Hogan Way, Mervis Drive, Martin Luther King Boulevard. That was the intent and the thought process of putting so much strictness into this is to making it that serious. So that's where this came from.
Alderman Ludwig, anything else? Alderman Ludwig?
I just was hoping you could also discuss who exactly would be honored by this honorary naming system.
Oh, the type of individuals? Oh yeah, well it's covered under the eligibility criteria. I hope clearly. Anybody that's demonstrated leadership, public service, philanthropy, or cultural or historical impact, that's going to be subjective, right? Whenever they put in the application, the city council will make that review and that determination at that time.
Can a living person be honored?
Oh, no. They must be deceased for at least 1 year.
Thank you.
Alderman Butler.
Yes, I still have an issue, as I stated last week, about the eligibility and the criteria of the nominee. That I truly believe that if, like I said, if the person, Ms. Bourne's situation, anybody else that would like to, instead of have a street name change, that they would be a part of this criteria, especially if that parent, grandparent, or whatever has contributed to the city and state as a whole. That if I feel that I had a loved one that I would like to be a honorarium, to have a sign, presented in the name of my loved one. And because I've done contribute to the city and state, that they would be a part of this as well, and then maybe that might deter people from, from wanting to have a street name change. Unless, Miss Barnes, hers is unique. She said it's a cul-de-sac. I mean, so she the only address, on that street. And so the way this is written, I mean, it'd be hard there for me to vote for it. Thank you.
I just wonder, Alderman Arns, I'm sorry, if you would agree, like on section 3, submission A, on the number 4, what about 25 out of each ward? That would be half, and that's 175.
I guess my thought is it's just difficult dealing with the wards when people aren't running for office. Where are the ward lines? Are they in? Are they out? And if you can't get to 25 in a ward, does that kill your petition? That's the only thing I was trying to stay away from. Is I've not tried to do citywide petitions in quite some time, but I can tell you it's hours of work, as you all know, and I just think that in my mind, rather than trying to do it by ward, to me, either the community supports it or it doesn't. It shouldn't be because they reached a certain number in every ward. I'd like to have that stipulation on a few other votes.
So I guess my question, nowhere in here does it say a petition with a certain amount of number, correct?
Correct.
So is that another route? I mean, I don't know.
Well, I guess I'd just go ahead and propose a amendment, Mayor and Chairman, to remove item 4 and replace it with 250 registered voters. And then the refundable fee has already been changed to 200. And I'll leave the sign issue alone. And then under item B, the review process number 1 would include the term accuracy.
What one was that? I'm sorry.
The section 3B2, I'm sorry, 3B1, community shall review for accuracy to make sure that everything represented in the petition application is indeed accurate, since we're dealing with past events people may not be familiar with.
Oh.
And that was in the form of a motion.
Well,
I'll second that.
Okay. Ortiz.
I have a comment on the motion. I have a concern that it's registered voters and not residents, because a person who's petitioning for or collecting signatures for a name change is not running for office. They will have no way of knowing whether or not the people that they're getting signatures from are registered voters unless they went to the election commission and then actually paid to pull a list. And that then adds an additional hurdle that wasn't originally here. I do agree that the number should be changed, but changing it from residents to registered voters, I think, creates an additional barrier.
If I may,
what?
I could be comfortable with property owners, but residents are too transient and they don't have the same investment, in my opinion. But good point.
That's fair.
Okay. There's a motion and a second.
Yes, and I amend my motion amended to include that. If I need to restate
You entertain a friendly amendment.
Thank
so,
you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to eliminate the 50 signatures, go with this a flat 250 of residents, property owners. We're going to go with, keep the 2/3 the same, drop the 450 down to 200, and add language into, for accuracy into B1.
Correct.
There was something else too you had said earlier.
No.
That's enough? Okay.
Disregard.
Is there any questions on the amendment to the amended motion?
Yes. I don't think we can do property owners. 2/3 of this town are rental people, don't own property. That would be another hardship.
The only way to verify then would be for them to be registered voters, because how else are you going to verify addresses?
You can verify addresses on the GIS website.
No.
You can look up an address on the GIS website and it will show you who owns
But
it.
you can't tell who lives there from a GIS website.
You can, but when you get the signature, if the name of the person who you got a signature from says this is my address, and you look it up, you can verify it right there when you grab their signature.
Not if you're at a game or
you can.
event
Yes, you
or-
can if their ID has their address on it, and you have access on your phone to the GIS website. You can still look it up anywhere. You could be in Chicago with a Danville person and still look that information up.
And just to clarify, the reason I said property owners is because we have property owners that can get the 250 petition signatures with their own tenants. And I'm not interested in that. We need 250 people that have an investment in this town to have a community decision.
Right.
Okay, anybody? Anyone else? Madam Clerk, do you have all this down?
I'm not clear on what we decided on the wording on the last item. Are we going with registered voters, or are we going with
Right.
property owners?
Property owners.
Staying with property owners.
Property owners?
Okay.
And Logan will get all that changed in the language.
Alderman Arns, do you mean separate property owners? Or because I might own 250 properties.
Right.
As I think I mentioned, but it should be individual people,
Okay,
separate.
that's what
Okay,
And thank you
individual.
for that clarification.
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, no more amendments to
I
amendments?
think our Constitution said you can't restrict things to property owners.
We don't follow that.
Yeah.
We have a whole section of ordinances that relate to only property owners.
I understand how things are, but in my end of town, you can't just restrict it to property owners, or you'll have a hard time getting 50 signatures in some areas.
Maybe that's an indication.
Well, it could be, but we're talking about this ordinance, and I don't think it's legal, for one, but number two, I don't like it.
Okay, having heard comments and things, let's do a roll call on the second amendment. The amendment to the amendment, we're having a roll call vote on.
So this is only on the amendment and not.
Amendment to the amendment, yes.
That's correct. So Alderman Arns addition.
Okay, roll call.
Alderman Butler,
Can I say one thing before we do roll call?
Yes.
What if we were to have them come sign the petition at the city? Can't do that.
Might violate some law somewhere,
Mm.
the Hatch Act or something, I don't know.
I mean, then we would see them. We would know it's 250 property owners.
Whoever got the signatures would see them regardless when they're going around, just like when we have to go around with our petitions. I would see the person who I'm getting to sign for me to say yes.
Right,
Yeah. So we already had to, let's move on with the amendment vote.
All right.
Amendment vote.
Not to be redundant, but could we go step by step once more?
Yes.
What we are voting on to make
Right.
sure we all have it clear. We're not voting on the amendment as such. We're voting on, anyway, yeah, please.
So Alderman Arns, would you like to restate what yours was as far as?
Yes. The First Amendment was to change the amount from 450 to 200. This is to further amend that, to remove the language in item section 3A, number 4, from 50 supporting signatures from each ward to 250 signatures of property owners within the city of Danville, to include the word accuracy under section 3B1 in addition to the other items, and to I think that's it.
Yeah, because the 2/3, we didn't change that. Yeah. Okay, roll
Thank you.
call, please. No, we're gonna do the roll call on these first, on the amendment, then we'll go back into discussion.
I have a question that, that's where I was kind of
Okay.
confused on that 250 and 50. And my question was, if you can't get 250 on that street or in that ward,
This is a citywide.
it's citywide.
Citywide, no restriction to just that ward.
Gotcha, okay, citywide, okay. I thought, I heard him say ward, but citywide, okay.
Okay. One more time.
Alderman Butler,
Yes.
DeToy,
Yes.
Pashard,
Yes.
Hightower,
No.
Johnson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
No.
Poor,
Yes.
Strebing,
No.
Pickering,
Yes.
Teague,
No.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Jones,
No.
Arns,
Yes.
Cooper,
Yes.
9 yes.
9 yes, motion carries. Now we will vote on on the ordinance as amended. Roll call, please.
Alderman Butler,
This is on the amendment.
No.
No, this is
This is on
On the.
the ordinance now.
Oh, no.
DeToy,
Yes.
Pashard,
I'm still a little bit confused on what's going on here. I think a lot of this is just unnecessary. This may not be the time to talk, but we've got a lot of important issues in the city of Danville, and nothing against Mrs. Bourne. I realize that she had lost a loved one, but we're just opening up a can of worms, and we're just kicking stuff all over the place. So I don't honestly know how to vote on the amendments and all this kind of stuff. I mean, the difference between Motorcycles Road and Mrs. Bourne's petition here is they own the road, they maintain it. If she gets a pothole, is she gonna call the city? Now, I might have should have been said before all this other stuff's been said, but that's just where I'm at, so I don't know how to vote, so.
Are you abstaining, Alderman?
You abstain?
Abstain.
Okay.
Hightower,
No.
Johnson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
No.
Poor,
Yes.
Strebing,
No.
Pickering,
Yes.
Teague,
No.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Jones,
No.
Arns,
Yes.
Cooper,
Yes.
7 yes.
7 yes.
I will cast the affirming vote, 8th vote, yes.
Okay. Ordinance passes. Okay, 13B, an ordinance amending Danville City Code, Chapter 155 pertaining to the commercial solar projects. Move Spencer Reed, ask for your approval. Need a second.
Second.
Alderman Cooper.
Just one question, Logan. What are we accomplishing with this? Are we trying to stop what's going across from Quaker?
No. So this is simply a oversight on what state statutes allow municipalities to do with the building code within or outside of the municipal or corporation limits. The initial code amendment intent was to regulate the building on how they're built, not just the zoning outside of the city limits, but within the 1.5-mile zoning jurisdiction. That is what we thought we were able to do. It was brought to our attention that there is indeed a state statute that does not allow a municipality to govern the building code standards outside of the municipal limits. We can still regulate zoning, special use permits, screening, fencing, et cetera, but how you put the footers in the ground and hook up the electrical, per state statute, we cannot do that outside the municipal limits. So that's what this amendment reflects.
For solar panels.
For solar panels, commercial solar sites.
But can we stop any, I'm going with the one across from Quaker, okay? How'd that get through the city anyway?
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
upon the start of the project, it's zoned I-1 industrial, and at that time, the zoning code allowed for commercial solar facilities to be constructed. They have had a building permit for that long, for that site.
With or without our permission? It was already zoned, so they can
Zoned,
do that.
and the table of uses allowed for it at that time.
Do we have any more of those in the city that could be developed that way or not?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Alderman T.
Is the state statute that is bringing about this change to the ordinance cited in the ordinance? Because there is a citation, but I haven't read it, so I don't know if that's the
No, the state statute is not listed. That would have been a very nice thing to have. But no, I cleared it with Corporation Counsel. There is indeed a very clear state statute that says we just can't do it.
No, that's understood.
Yeah.
My thought process though is what happens if and or when state statute changes and we didn't actually cite the state statute that brought this about.
Yeah.
So then you become a situation where now eventually it's possible because law changes that we could become in conflict with the state statute even though we're following it now.
Right.
So it seems to me that the language should say something about in accordance with whatever the state statute is. So then that way, if the state statute does change, then we therefore can make sure that we're either remaining in compliance or we just make a decision on our own accord outside of the state statute.
Yeah.
So I would like to make a motion that the wording be changed so that we can cite the state statute, whatever the state statute is.
Alderman Teague, before doing so, just so I'm clear, I think it might be backwards because what we're doing is removing it, and then if there would not be a state statute that tells the city of Danville to mandate it outside of the corporation limits. It would be the other way around.
But I would imagine that our standards that we're mandating to are higher. So we're removing an enforcement around building code and we're removing an enforcement around foundations.
Well, yeah, for all building code, electrical, whatever it is, yeah.
And it has been stated previously about other things that is around building code and whatnot, that our standard is typically higher than other cities. Am I not right?
Our standards are typically up to par
with
C code, yes.
Correct. And outside of the city, that might not actually be being followed.
Doesn't exist.
Exactly. So if state statute were to allow us to expand it to the 1.5 mile radius outside of city limits, we would actually enforce this. Except we took it out. And we took it out because of state statute. So if we actually wanted it back, and we're not monitoring the state statute, and we're 15 years from now, and nobody remembers what happened because I'll just remind everybody about MFT, then we might actually want to cite the state statute.
Do you want to make that in form of an amendment?
I made a motion that we amend it so that that we make it in accordance with whatever the state statute is. I don't know the number, so that the statute is cited in the ordinance for where we are making these changes.
That simple?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very.
I can second that.
Second, okay, discussion? Okay, roll call on the amendment, please.
Alderman Hightower,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
Streebing,
Yes.
Pickering,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Arns,
Yes.
Cooper,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
DeToy,
Yes.
Pashard,
Yes.
14 yes.
14 yes, thank you. Now we'll have a roll call on the original, or the amended motion, please.
Alderman Johnson,
I'm confused. What are we voting on?
The
Explain
vote was to have the state statute cited in the original.
Right.
That was the amendment. Now we're voting on the ordinance with that amendment in it,
The entirety.
in its
Yes.
entirety.
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
Strebe.
Yes.
Pickering.
Yes.
Teague.
Yes.
Ludwig.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Arns.
Yes.
Cooper.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
DeToy.
Yes.
Pashard.
Yes.
Hightower.
Yes.
14 yes.
14 yes, motion passes. 13C is a resolution amending the fiscal year 25-26 Fund 122 budget, the downtown TIF district. Move to dispense with reading, ask for approval. Need a second.
Second.
Okay. Questions? Alderman T.
To make sure that I understand, so we are taking from reserves and adding to the TIF budget for a project that was, for a TIF project that was previously approved at a lower rate because the original price was lower. And we are giving more to that project because the price has become significantly higher. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I remember you saying dollar amounts. I don't know like what percentage wise that it increased or anything like that.
Yeah.
But is that accurate?
That is accurate. And good news to add to that is the reason there is money available for amendment is we receipted in the final installment of property taxes, and the projected TIF revenue for downtown Danville was $105,000. It doubled.
Oh, wow.
It's over $200,000 that we're receiving on an annual basis, which is why we're able to do this. Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman O'Kane.
Yes.
Strebing.
Yes.
Pickering.
Yes.
Teague.
Yes.
Ludwig.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Arns.
Yes.
Cooper.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
DeToy.
Yes.
Pashard.
Yes.
Hightower.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Poor.
Yes.
14 yes.
14 yes, motion passes. 13D is a resolution approving the 2026 fee schedule for Harrison Park Golf Course. Move to dispense with reading, ask for approval. Need a second.
Second.
Alderman Arms.
With question, are these the same as last year?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing no questions, roll call.
Alderman Strebing.
Yes.
Pickering.
Yes.
Teague.
Yes.
Ludwig.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Arns.
Yes.
Cooper.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
DeToy.
Yes.
Pashard.
Yes.
Hightower.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
O'Kane.
Yes.
Poor.
Yes.
14 yes.
14 yes, resolution passes. 13E is a resolution authorizing a budget amendment to the fiscal year 25-26 Community Reinvestment 310 budget. Move to dispense with reading, ask for your approval. Need a second.
Second.
Alderman Arms.
The resolution reflects it's to come from revenues. Does that mean the revenues have exceeded what we projected? Okay,
Yep.
Thank you. So it's not reserves, it's actual.
Yeah,
revenue.
actual revenue. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
I have a question.
Oh,
Where do community reinvestment revenues come from?
They come from home rule sales tax.
Okay. So we have, is that state law that home rule sales tax revenues go to community reinvestment, or that's just our
City
designation of where they go?
ordinance. There's an ordinance that says how the home rule sales tax has to be split out.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Kane?
Last week I asked about what the demolition was citywide, I think it's, did I ask, is it commercial, residential, or what is it aimed at?
This just goes into the community reinvestment or the community investment line item, which is 54177. So that's not a specified for a specific thing. I can tell you that, I mean, our intent is to just get more houses on the ground that are needing to come down on the list, but it's not it's just going into that line item, and it's not specified for a specific commercial or residential.
Well, you didn't come up with items to tear down before you picked the price or the number?
We're pulling as much as our comptroller felt comfortable with her conservative estimates.
Okay.
Alderman D.
Well, since we're talking about demolitions, what would it take for us to get a view of what is currently on the list to be demolished, at least at minimum, what's scheduled to be demolished? Because I think that one of the things, the concerns that, and I think we brought this up before, I have it in my notes that we talked about it previously. I can't remember when because I got a lot of notes. But, you know, people wanting to know about specific houses, when they're going to be torn down. I drove by a house earlier today that I meant to look up to see who owns it and if we own it and if it might be on the list. And that's a common occurrence. And I hear about houses all the time from people, whether I'm at church, I'm walking around in a grocery store, or somebody coming to my office asking me about specific properties. And so just being able to say, oh yeah, this is next on the list would be helpful without having to go through the process of calling Public Works every single time somebody calls me. And I know that you guys welcome that. That doesn't necessarily mean it's sufficient for us.
Yeah, so we've had internal discussions on that, and don't believe it's the wisest thing to put the whole list out, but what we are intending to do is you guys should be starting to receive some upcoming demolitions, like short-term upcoming demolitions. I think we were talking about 2 weeks out just to ensure accuracy of those items, knowing when they're coming down. I think schedules change rather often when it comes to equipment breakdowns, that type of thing. So doing it in a little bit of a shorter term window and sending those out to you all. So that's something that will be forthcoming from us. But as far as the entirety of the list, I think that there's from what I recall from our conversations, it seems that there may be some issues with putting out that list.
Okay.
I need to follow up on that a little bit because that's been talked about for about 30 years now. The aldermen have to have some way of being able to guide accountability in terms of implementation of the budget and things of that nature. So somehow we need to come up with a way, we discussed a couple of different alternatives back when, to where the council can have the information that is needed to know what is planned and what's expected versus necessarily a specific property address. But I would suggest that if there is a way for legal to determine that we can have that information, because I'm assuming it's a FOIable information, if it's a work product and it's being utilized for that purpose, that the council know that. I'm still after what is the number and how many do we add each year and what have you, because I'm really trying to gauge where are we at. Are we 50% there? Are we 20% there? Are we 70% there? We need to have some way to measure this and to know. That was one of the things I was hoping for in the budget process is we're going to tear down X number of residential properties and X number of commercial properties. And this is the total that we think it will cost. Because we're still sitting on all the money that was left over from the Brazil demo and that $4 million. And I just, not seeing some of the other big ones going down here right away, I'm not understanding if you're waiting on us for something or if things are not legally in place yet. But we've got some big structures on Main Street and some more downtown that I know the mayor's planning to get down. Is when?
The RFP will be coming out for those, I believe, in January.
Yeah.
For those what?
For the large structures that are in downtown.
Oh, the three that are adjacent to each other?
As well as the old Studio 25, and we've already got down the laundromat.
Milliken Dry Cleaner as well, included into that bid.
Studio 21, and there's another one next to it. There's two.
Yeah.
But well, I think we should vote on this and I'll get into the other
Right.
discussion.
Okay.
Well, I got a question.
Okay.
I'm going to ask it anyway. Well, what is the criteria for determining what is identified, what is going down, what is going to be demolished, where's that criteria? And is it set in stone somewhere?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I tell you what I will do. I can send you an email just with a full synopsis that I've provided to Alderman Teague. I'll forward that over to you as well, just so you have it.
Will you just go ahead and forward that to the entire council?
Okay, can do.
Okay.
And then you got to add the fires that we've had.
Well, yeah, but
And that's why
things move around.
and that's why the
a little bit.
demolition changes. One structure that wasn't dangerous before may have become dangerous, like we had on Factory Street, where it was spilling out into the road. So,
Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Pickering,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Arns,
Yes.
Cooper,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
DeToy,
Yes.
Pashard, Hightower,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
O'Kane,
Yes.
Poor,
Yes.
Streebing,
Yes.
13 yes.
13 yes, thank you. Items of information? Okay, Mayor, that concludes our report.
thank you, Chairman Poor. At this time, we will receive our Public Services Committee report. Chairman Streebing.
Okay, 14A is the city clerk's report. You have anything for us?
Just the approval of licenses.
14A1 is approval of license. Oh, I have to put my glasses on. Yeah, approval of the license. I'll need a motion and a second to approve the license.
So moved.
Second. Is there any questions on the approval of the license? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The
Aye.
ayes have it. Okay. Items of information. We will meet here next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Date is 11/25 of 25. And that concludes our report.
Thank you, Chairman. You'll be glad to know that we do not have need of closed session. However, it's now time for item 16, review of 2025 tax levy and 2026 budget. There's some information that we had discussed previously, Alderman Arns and others had requested about property value, property payment of property taxes and such, so I'm going to hand that out first. I apologize, I should have had this at your table.
Thank you. Thank you.
There is another packet of information that I'm going to provide for you as well. Alderman Teague.
Are some of the, I'm looking at the EAV. I think it's this.
Yes.
Yep. Are some of these commas in the wrong place? Should,
No.
So-
I'm sorry, I'll explain
So,
these to you.
well,
If it's all, I mean,
Ward 1 has 24,5230, 0 through 8. So should that really be 245 or should it be 24.5?
It's-
Ward 2 has 35.6, but should it really be 356?
I apologize, there was. These are non-single family residential parcels.
She's talking about the.
I'm talking about
comma placement.
the placement of the commas, where it says estimated EAV by ward, and it has 24,5230. There's 4 digits after the comma.
I apologize, I'm not sure what happened, I'll have to check with Adam on that. I did not review, he made some updates and I did not review today, and I did not review those.
Because what it looks like now, because it says Ward 4 has 70 million, which would be the highest, except that the commas may be misplaced or there's an errant number. So if the commas aren't misplaced, then Ward 4 has the highest EAV, which seems very odd to me. And to Alderman O'Kane as well, since we're the ones living in Ward 4. And I have driven every street of Ward 4, and I'm like, really?
We're sitting on a gold mine.
Single family though.
It says,
Industrial.
Those are industrial. So
so that's, okay, so that's the commercial and not single family. That makes sense then. But unless Ward 1 and Ward 2 might actually also have non-commercial that would be at 245 and 356 and not, which is significantly more than 70. So it's really a question of, is it a misplaced comma or is there an extra digit?
I will clarify that and get it back to you.
Okay.
What I've passed out to you are two different things, and I apologize. I meant to give you the second one first. So if you look at the second
I'm sorry,
packet-
I don't have a single family packet.
Oh, I just put it right there by Mrs. Pickett. It should be right.
3 pages.
I set it right to your right. and
Okay.
Mrs. Pickett.
So then does she have one? Do you have
She
one?
should, yes.
Yeah, this one. Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome. So there was discussion about the residential, the property value of both residential and non-residential property in the city of Danville. So if you would, please take a look at the second packet, which has single-family residential values. And the top page has equalized assessed value of single-family residential parcels. So as you can see, the estimated EAV by ward is listed there on the right-hand side, total EAV. Just as EAV stands for equalized assessed value. It's 1/3 of the total property value that your property is assessed at. So in Ward 1, single-family residential parcels, $17.2 million. Ward 2, $20.3 million. Ward 3, $19.5 million. Ward 4, $14.2 million. Ward 5, $65 million. Ward 6, $38 million, just shy of 39, and Ward 7, $78 million. You can see there also it was requested that we provide which parcels pay no taxes, so those parcels are blacked out in the illustration. Yes, Alderman Teague.
There's no colors on Ward 4?
Pardon?
Or there's no colorization at all in Ward 4 for single residential?
All empty.
That's,
Ward 6, Ward 6.
oh, so wait a minute, so where there's white, that means that it's commercial as opposed to?
Where there's white, it's non-single family, so it's either commercial or multifamily.
So then the difference between white and black is, there's no taxes whatsoever?
That's correct.
So is that like what city, government-owned property?
Some of it is governmental property. Some places, a senior has an exemption, so their exemption exceeds their property tax assessment, so they don't pay any value. There could be nonprofits such as churches where they're not paying any taxes, Alderman. So it's a variety of different reasons why individuals would not be paying tax.
Okay.
If you look at the next one, you can see just the next one, which says Danville City taxes collected of single-family residential parcels. You can see the collection by ward. In Ward 1, it's just a little shy of $1.5 million. And Ward 2, a little shy of $1.8 million. And Ward 3, a little shy of $1.7 million. In Ward 4, a little shy of a little more than $1.2 million. In Ward 5, $5.6 million. In Ward 6, just shy of $3.4 million. And in Ward 7, just shy of $6.8 million. Now, those are the taxes for the city of Danville only. And again, wherever you see anything black, there are no taxes. The white represents non-single family residential parcels. Yes, Alderman Arns.
Mayor, this is some of the information that is related to, but I guess what I was after was the actual taxes paid.
That's the next.
And so that is a
That's
component.
that's the next slide that you have there.
No. Actual taxes paid is different than EAV.
Yes.
Actual taxes paid can include some of those entities that are paying taxes. That so are you saying all the landlords, all the residential that includes multi-unit is included this? Because it says single family.
These are all single-family residential parcels. The multifamily are included in the other, in the other map.
So then,
So I just want to be clear. The first page is EAV only. The second page is the taxes that that were paid to the city of Danville, property taxes by single-family homes.
Just clarification, it says estimated. Is that estimated based upon the EAV and our tax rate versus what they actually paid?
My understanding is this is what was actually collected. If you look at the bottom, it says to the contributions to taxing bodies, and this was provided by the supervisor of assessments.
Okay, I can follow up with that.
Yes, sir. Alderman Teague.
so then the one that has the non-single family residential, which was intimated that it's commercial, but it can't be commercial if it's residential. So,
okay.
it's not commercial.
As I said, it's all non-single family properties, so it's multifamily, residential, and commercial. But if we could, we'll go back to this if we could, and the last page that you have is total taxes paid by ward. So that's not just to the city of Danville, that is to all taxing bodies for residential. So the third page that you see, total taxes collected of single-family residential parcels in the city of Danville for 2024. And again, black out is folks that don't pay taxes. White out is either multifamily or commercial property.
Is there a reason why the multifamilies were not included in the residential? Because that was what the request was all residential.
I apologize. I'm not sure why Adam segregated it out that way. I can follow up.
Would they be on? I'm sorry, but isn't that what non-single family residential is?
Yes, but the numbers are all mixed together, so you can't see how much that component is multi-units residential.
I would love a definition if there is one available, and I recognize that we might not necessarily be in control over how things are designated, of what constitutes non-single family residential, because I'm surprised at the number of non-single family residential parcels that are on Eastgate.
This includes commercial and multifamily properties.
But why would it then be residential? You just said it wasn't commercial.
I think
No, I didn't say it wasn't commercial. Alderman
I
Ludwig.
think the word single-family residential parcels is all one thing. So this is non-single-family residential parcels. So it's
Right.
excluding not single-family residential parcels as one grouping.
So this is the antithesis of this.
Yes.
So this is commercial.
It is commercial and multi-family residential properties.
And industrial, I'm assuming?
It's all other properties.
All others.
This is all non-single family properties. But you can see the EAV there. I apologize, I'm not sure what happened on those first two numbers. Alderman Teague, I will get that clarification and get it to you. all, but you can see, as you would expect, essentially, properties that are valued at a higher rate are paying higher taxes. Outside of the clarification on those numbers, does anyone have any questions? Okay, at this time, we would open the floor for discussion on the budget and tax levy. Alderman T.
I have some concerns about the budget. I'm looking through my notes. One is just, some are concerns and some are just things to, I think, point out. One, I am concerned about the cuts to the library. And I do believe that the new director should have the opportunity to be strategic and surgical as it relates to what he may want to do as it relates to cuts. I also have
to address that point. He will have 5.5 months because this doesn't take effect until May.
I'm not sure that that's long enough to actually get a lay of the land, but that's neither here nor there. I also have noticed that we added, I can't remember if it was an addition, my note is not in detail enough. I know where it's at in the budget though. That we have added significant dollars to animal control as well. I think it might actually exceed, I'm not sure if it does. I don't remember if it's a total or if it's an additional $325,000. So I believe that it exceeds what we took away from the library. I also noticed that we also have removed all funding to DDI, which is a concern, especially considering how much focus we put on people going downtown, activities towards downtown, and all of the things towards downtown, and they have been cut entirely from the budget. And there may or may not be additional items. I had sent a long list of questions to our comptroller last night, which I saw she emailed me back, and I don't know, because I didn't see the email till I sat down here. Were your responses in line, or because I didn't see anything below? And that could be because I'm on my phone. So that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I put the answers to each question down by the question.
Okay.
That way they kept it in order.
I'll look when I get to a desk because I can't see them from here. Thank you. So I may or may not have additional items to bring up after I see some of the answers to my questions. So, but those things, both the library cut and the DDI cut, are concerning to me. I'm not as concerned as it relates to animal control, but I do think it needs to be pointed out. If any, for people to be able to see as they look through, because obviously it's a 171-page document, so there's a lot of detail to go through. The fact that we have significantly increased our animal control. The reason why I'm saying I'm not as concerned, because we know that we have an animal control problem in the city of Danville. So it does certainly need to be addressed. I think one of the questions that I would have is, how did we come to the amount that we came to for that increase?
Alderman, so now that there is a new director at Animal Control, they've been reviewing their budget. Chairman Miller of the county board has asked them to review their budget. Essentially, what's happened is they have been underbilling us for a long time. So let's say, for example, they were supposed to bill us $25 a month per animal per board. They've been charging us one time instead of for each animal that we were to be boarding. So that's one area of change.
When you say one time, you mean once a month they just charge us for one animal?
They were charging for one kennel for one day, basically, because it was per animal per day in the contract. What you'll actually be seeing next week, we'll be bringing some changes to the current contract, the active contract, in order to get us up to snuff. And in that discussion next week, there will be a presentation that will break down how the new rates are being come up with. And that'll be put in place. We're proposing for 6 months while they collect more data that they currently don't have, so that then we can go into negotiating a new contract with them. But at this time, we're just going to adjust, and we're utilizing their budget that they're proposing to come up with the new rates, and using the average percentages of Danville's usage of their staff and building and everything else. So that's where that'll be coming from. But there will be a presentation next week that'll bring a lot of clarity to that specific increase.
Okay, thank you.
As far as DDI funding, we did give them a one-time because we purchased the old National Bank building, so they lost a portion of tax revenue from that. We still do have to pay taxes on the portion that Old National Bank uses, so we gave them a one-time funding this past year, funding increase. Essentially, DDI, what they do now are give out grants, the same thing that we do through the TIF district. They levy a specific tax to do so. I think it's a comptroller, is it at 40 or 45 that they're asking?
I think they're asking like 41, something along those lines.
So they're asking for 41, whereas they only asked for 30 last year. So since they are also asking for an increase from our downtown business owners, we thought that we should not be giving them additional money beyond that.
You're saying that the tax that they're asking for is additional money?
Yes.
But their board are the ones that are those downtown businesses?
They're a small portion of the downtown businesses. They are, I believe, 50 some odd down. It's not just the business, the actual businesses, it's actually the building owners that pay the tax. And so most of the DDI board, some of them are actual building owners, some of them are business owners, so maybe they rent or lease property, but they are levying an additional $10,000 or $11,000 on themselves and all of the building owners down in the downtown district.
So we're cutting any funding from them
that came from the city general fund
because they're increasing what they're asking for from the businesses. So are we saying then that it's a net zero effect on their total dollars?
They will still be ahead, I think, of maybe $1,000 or so more than they were last year. And also DDI, I appreciate what they do, but essentially what they do is provide grants to businesses for facades and things like that. Our TIF district has been doing that substantially and heavily, and so we believe that that's something that can be covered by the TIF district rather than taking money from the general fund, which could go to other things that we need here in the city of Danville.
Okay. Those are the only things I have for right now.
Thank you, Alderman. Anyone else? Alderman Arns.
Okay, several things. First, regarding the property tax levy, I too will be either making or supporting a motion to restore the library funding to a level of at least $2.1 million. It's currently proposed at $1,920,000. I certainly have some ideas on where the additional funds can be transferred from the general fund to supplement that so that there is no increase in property taxes from what is already proposed. And we'll be happy to do that at whatever time is appropriate. And with that, the comments that have been shared prior by Ms. Payne as well as Alderman Teague is we've got a new director coming in, and I think that's a heck of a welcome to say we're going to cut your budget before you've even had a chance to look at it. And the reason I say that is because the library board has been very good stewards. They've been maintaining a budget close to $2.1 million for 5 years now. And the city's not anywhere near that. And we've heard about studies that suggest the number of personnel, and I would suggest we not read too much into that, because studies before suggested the city should have certain personnel numbers in certain divisions, and we are well beyond what those numbers are. And so I think you have to be careful when you reference studies were they a study on the Danville library? Or if it's based on an average, that was a lot of discussion back in the days regarding the firefighters, is how many per 1,000 should it be? And we're above the numbers that were discussed at that time. My particular belief is that the city's personnel costs alone have risen over $6 million since the fiscal year 2023-24 budget was completed. The 23-24 budget, and I'm taking these numbers out of the budgets, was $18,798,198, and the proposed for 26-27 is $24,973,052. That's a $6 million increase in personnel costs in 3 years, $2 million a year. And that's where I go back to and continue to go back to, that is not a sustainable trend. Our revenues have never grown $2.5 to $3 million a year. And so if that's the increment that is needed to grow every year to sustain those staffing levels, we can't sustain them. And now is when we need to figure that out before we've spent all the money on other things. And when it's going to personnel costs, it can't be used for other opportunity costs. It can't accelerate demolitions. It can't improve or import business retention or incentives for them. And I go back to, that was the desire of the community benefiting from the casino funds. And so while I had hoped that we'd be able to split the budget out and we would have a much longer period of time to get into this, next full city council meeting, I'll be presenting an alternative budget that reflects the best interests of the community going forward and not so focused on maintaining staffing levels of the city. As I've stated, based upon my preliminary analysis, we've added more than 24 positions in the city government since 2017. And I know the mayor's working on some numbers for that, so I'll be interested to see what those are. But we have to recognize we're a shrinking community. We don't have the same number of people. We can't afford to pay what we're paying. I would suggest the money was not there to give those raises at that time. Had a spreadsheet gone out 5 or 10 years, it would show as not as sustainable. So in a push to move this budget forward, what we're pushing forward is a budget that says this is what we're going to do this year, but it probably won't work for next year because we're not likely to grow another $2 million. We had seen 3 successive years of declining revenues. We're seeing huge increases in sales tax right now. And obviously inflation has partially had an effect on that. And so if inflation ever gets under control and prices drop, so are our revenues. And we rely on them too heavily to have it all stretched that thin. And so, as I stated last year, to have our casino funds be a significant contribution to our pension payments, by my estimation, more than what is suggested, because the mayor and comptroller indicate some of those funds go elsewhere. We need to find out where that elsewhere is. But the reality is this can be done. All the pensions need to be paid and would be paid, and that will be shown in the budget. And the budget will show significantly more dollars available for things that benefit the citizens of this community and provide us better hope moving forward that we can create a sustainable city. We need an infrastructure reduction program. It wouldn't take anybody 10 seconds to say, we're nowhere close to the funding levels we need for our infrastructure. I'm not going to argue that point. The point is we can't get to that point with 27,000 people. And so we need to start eliminating infrastructure and consolidating our city to the core so that we can afford to maintain it in the future. I don't know that it still exists, but at one point there was a GIS application that was made to show all the annexations into the city. And so you can literally sit there and watch the city grow through decades. If you were to go back and find what the city looked like the last time we had 27,000 residents, look at that map. I don't know what it looks like. I've seen them all, but I don't remember. I guarantee you we didn't have all these lane miles of roadways. We didn't have all these miles of sewers running to East Gate and South Gate and some of those kinds of things. And so this is not a plan for the future. This is what I see this budget as a plan to protect the status quo. And that's to keep all the employees that are here employed and to not do anything that might result in a loss of employees that could improve other opportunities for businesses or the community. And I say that because there's been some focus on the library that they're doing this through attrition, and somehow that's different. Well, I would applaud them that that's good stewardship and good management. It's good to hold positions open until you see whether they're needed or not, or what your financial condition is. The city's not holding positions open.
That's not accurate
That
at all.
that it appears. We had a
It's completely inaccurate.
If I can finish, Mayor. We had the assistant in the community relations department position open up. It's filled today. Is that the best use of those funds without considering some of these other impacts? So like I said, I'm not going to belabor the point tonight. I'll present a budget next full council meeting. And there's been some other council members beside myself that are new that would like to have more of a discussion. And so I would suggest the morning of December 6th, it's a Saturday morning, that those who are interested in discussing the budget and or any other alternatives have a meeting that morning, a study session, so that we can get through some more of this. And I would hope by that time the administration can tell us, how many houses are we going to tear down this year?
We can already tell you now, it's not a matter of speculation.
Okay. And what is that number?
We've been averaging about 70.
And how many are left?
That I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
And that's the critical number to know our progress. So, like I said, the budget is not sustainable as it's presented based upon the history of our revenues. And so if somebody thinks the economy is going to take off and stay strong, well, that's good, but we need to plan for that. A couple of things in the budget. The municipal pool fund, I had requested to see if there is a statute that prohibits using general fund monies for enterprise funds.
There is not.
There is none. So then theoretically, we could use sales tax and general fund revenues to support the sanitary sewer fund or the storm sewer fund.
If it was necessary, yes.
Okay, thank you. Because it was told to the council that they could not, and that's important. That's important when decisions are being made, that they have accurate information.
Alderman Arns, if I may speak to that, I actually am the one who said that because under the previous administration, it was my understanding from instruction from both you and Alderman and Mayor Eisenhower that infrastructure, that the enterprise funds were to be self-funded. That was what we were always told repeatedly by you, by Alderman, by Mayor Eisenhower, is that they were to be self-funded. So honestly, I was going off of what I was taught by you and Mayor Eisenhower, and I misspoke. I'm more than happy to honor or acknowledge when I make a mistake. And since then, the comptroller has done research and found out otherwise.
Well, I would tend to disagree with that by the very fact that we proposed using those fees for that purpose. So I don't think we ever stated that that can't be the case. I think what we stated is the council has to make that decision. But certainly, that opens up a different change. That money was moved out of that fund. The expenses were all left in that fund. And the increase was made significantly. Regardless of that, I don't believe we should be transferring any more money into the pool fund out of the general fund than what is absolutely necessary to cover the shortage. The general fund should not be creating a capital fund for the pool.
That's what we do.
We don't have an adequate program for other facilities. The pool should not be different from that. And if the pool cannot get attendance up, other councils in the future are going to have some difficult decisions to make. The attendance numbers that we're seeing this year were less than half of the numbers of attendance that we used to see back when the pool had an annual loss of $30,000 to $40,000 a year. And we've spent $15 million on something that is attracting less than half of the people it used to.
$11.5 million, but sure. And also, we had a lot of weather days this year as well, and we did not do any pool rentals this last year. We will be doing that starting this year heavily, so that we have had lost revenue that you did realize in the past.
But back to the point is, we shouldn't be losing extra money out of the general fund. If we have to cover a loss, I'm for trying to figure out how we're going to reduce that loss. If one more year is being requested to try to do an additional marketing or better communications or something, then so be it. But right now, we've got 275 being transferred out into the pool fund. I think their net loss, at least as of the last budget report, was around 190-ish, 180 to 190. I was just comparing expenses to actual revenues. So whatever that number could be, that's what it would be included. The other items then will be clarified in that other budget suggestion or proposal. The fire station's transfer of the $450,000, is that for a specific purpose or just to try to keep things moving along?
That's what we know at some point we're either going to have to build new fire stations or substantially repair our existing ones. So that's setting aside some funds for that time.
Because that's candidate number one for the library funds for me, is to reduce that by that amount. The other thing is the municipal building relocation. I know we've got funds in reserve in that fund. Are there plans to try to do any movement or construction in the coming year, or what's the timelines on that?
We are sending them back a redesign so that they can get us cost estimates. And then we should have those hopefully by year's end or at the beginning of next year. And the hope, Alderman, would be that next year that we start construction and are able to move over by the end of the year, or if not, in 2027.
And just a question, the mowing of lots, where is that coming out of?
Right now it comes out of 310.
Okay. And that was, some of you may recall, that was another recommendation that'll be included in that, is to utilize the solid waste personnel for housing the individuals associated with building demolition, so that we can increase the amount of building demolitions we do on an annual basis. You know, and while I'm on it, you know, the enterprise funds have a lot of shared costs and people allocated to the enterprise funds that don't necessarily work on that every day. But as both the mayor and the comptroller are aware, I'm skeptical of those numbers. And an example of that is with the construction model not in place in public works anymore, really a third of your solid waste and your sewer personnel are mainly here to provide support for streets in the wintertime. You know, if you think about it, you're not picking up yard waste, you're not doing some of those programs, you can't run vectors in freezing weather and what have you. I'm not proposing we eliminate personnel from that, but I am proposing and suggesting that when we keep adding more cost into the enterprise funds for personnel that are partially allocated, that should be balanced. And if those sewer and solid waste personnel should be getting paid out of the general fund because they're really here for streets, which is part of the general fund, that should reflect the same.
All I would say is I do believe that was an adjustment that was made under your administration. So if it needs to change, you and I have discussed this many times, that we both changed some opinions from the past. So maybe that's a learning moment, but I know that reallocation occurred under the previous administration. So that we've continued with that reallocation.
And I would just repeat again, is just because it occurred did not mean I agreed with it. There was a mayor that made those decisions at that time as well. So the reality is those enterprise funds are covering a lot of expenses from the general fund. And one example I used is, I think we've got $12,000 allocated to a legal secretary, but when you go to look at the revenues that are collected through those activities, the revenue doesn't support it. And so I don't know if the revenue is being put into the legal budget instead of the enterprise funds, but I don't understand why we're paying for legal through enterprise funds if there's no revenue being collected as a result. So that's just something to check into. I certainly am for the enterprise funds paying their fair share, but I do believe it should be equitable and on an allocation method.
So I'm glad that you believe that and agree with that, because that's exactly how it's done. It's based on the time of work that is committed to those funds from those individuals.
Well,
and we've actually adjusted them quite substantially. Some have gone up, some have gone down to accurately reflect the amount of work that those individuals are doing for those various funds, Alderman.
And that is good, but I would say that a perhaps more accurate way would be to base it on criteria that is not subjective to the employee. So example, an HR person, they're charged out by the number of employees, not how much time they may spend with a particular division's personnel or another. If someone is doing payables, it's divided out and allocated by the number of payables that are coming out of the divisions. When you're dealing with federal grants, that's oftentimes the allocation methods that we were required to adhere to in one of my prior organizations. So once again, if there's a basis for it, fine. If it's just, give me your thoughts on how much time you spent, that's harder to do.
It's absolutely not that, but
I would like to say that while I agree that maybe the legal secretary isn't doing collections and generating revenue in that department, it doesn't mean that they're not putting the effort into that. So sometimes, you know, if somebody looks at mine, I don't produce any revenue directly. So it could be said that nobody should have to pay for me because I'm not creating any revenue. But I am giving benefit to the city, and as does my entire team. So to say that we're not generating revenue means that we shouldn't be paid out of the funds is not really relevant, because not everybody at the city is generating revenue. But we are making lives better. We're making the city more compliant. We're doing the things that need to be done to be a good community. So I don't know that generating revenue is the criteria that we use for a person's value.
I also would state, you know, it's been discussed, you know, there are more than 2 dozen positions than we had in 2017. I happen to know, because we've discussed it at length, that you are a big supporter of our police department and all the great work that they do. Well, when we took over, when I took over, we only had 54 police officers. Now we have 70. We also have hired an intel analyst, which has helped us solve tons of our murders and other crimes that we have. We also have a proper evidence manager so that we can also solve these crimes. So when you're talking about additional positions, Alderman, at least 18 of those positions alone are in the police department.
Yes, and I would not propose any of those change. But that leaves remaining others that can, and in my opinion, should. So, but we'll get into that.
I'm not sure that we disagree on some of those. The other thing that I would just say that's very important to me is in terms of a position of fairness. You know, in 2015, there was a wage study that was done. It was implemented in 2016 with lots of promises to people about where their salaries would go. And it seemed like some folks were very well taken care of while others were left behind. And particularly all of our union personnel were not included as a part of that. So you fast forward to 21 and 22, we did an updated study which included the unions and all of our personnels, and we found that some things we pay people appropriately and well, others we absolutely did not. So yes, there was a one-time major increase in salaries because some people had never been paid appropriately. While there are some positions that their position had gone up by 55%, their salary had increased by 55%, some by 60%, others had barely gotten 10 to 12% in that same amount of time. So in my mind, if we want to keep quality employees, those who are providing and doing the work and providing the quality of life to our citizens and making sure life is better, we have to make sure that we pay everyone well, not just those at the top. And I don't think that we're paying anyone outrageously. If you look at most of their salaries, they're fair. And in fact, there are a lot of people that make way less than they should. And I thank God that they have committed themselves to making this community better, because without them, we would all be in trouble.
And in response to that, Mayor, I don't disagree. We should compensate people well for their productivity and the work they do, which is why we had some merit-based contracts and things like that, so everybody didn't get the same amount of money. People that worked harder got paid more. Those things have gone away now. And everybody,
Those things were not in place when I was an alderman.
they were in place, and I've got the contracts to show that. I mean, they're in writing, so that doesn't change. And
We
but-
never
but it
voted
goes
up,
ba-
we
but
never,
Mayor-
during my time as mayor, as alderman, maybe I'm wrong. I don't remember everything, but I don't recall voting on merit-based wages for union personnel.
Well, it's in the contract.
Maybe we did. I'll go back and take a look.
Read it. It's in the contract that you removed with
I
Director Carpenter.
didn't remove anything.
There's no point in getting into that. The other thing is, but I go back to, Mayor, is, okay, fine, so everybody's at the right salaries. It's still unsustainable. And so it means that there need to be fewer of them. Or we need to figure out a way to control the costs. Paid leave time is a great example, and other things that have not been addressed while we were giving out those historically unprecedented wage increases. We did not get back some of the things that drive up our cost, such as paid leave time. So I go back to, does everybody here think that we can grow revenue $2 to $3 million a year to keep up with this cycle?
We don't have to grow revenue by that much. So you said that our payroll is 25 million right now, right? 25 million, Alderman, times an average salary of 3% increase is only $750,000, or not $2 million or $3 million a year. The reason why you've seen such a huge jump over a short period of time is because we had major increases to make sure that all employees were compensated fairly. When we want to talk about historic raises, there were some people who received historic raises here previously, while everyone else was not considered or taken care of. So it's interesting to me when people take care of certain individuals and themselves, but not everyone else. That's an error that we have worked hard to rectify.
That's also an opinion. The thing that's not being calculated into that is the increases in utility costs and the other things that are in the budget. I mean, if you look on page 14 of the budget, it provides all of that for you. And we don't have the budget up. But,
It's in your Dropbox.
You know, you're looking at significant dollars that are gonna have to grow, and if at any point revenues don't continue at the growth trend that the comptroller has projected, it's an immediate problem. So.
There's lots of speculations and ifs, but what I can tell you is we have 7 years of proving time and time again, because we have conservative revenue estimates, that we bring in more money than we've budgeted. And when one of our funds was reduced, we made the reductions that we needed to make sure that we didn't. And you talk about reducing personnel, but guess what? The personnel are the ones who do the work for our people. They're the ones who fix the roads. They're the ones who make our parks nicer. They're the ones who get called out when there's sewage going into someone's yard at 3 o'clock in the morning. So in my opinion, I think that the public probably agrees that we need to make sure that we take care of them.
To be determined. Thank you.
Anything else? Items of information for the good of the cause. Having satisfied the...
Don't forget about the Night of Light parades.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you all.
My goodness.
Night of Lights, the first Friday, we will have our Night of Lights parade. Rihanna, that kicks off at 6 o'clock?
Yes, we do our best to kick off at 6. We are actually closed for registration. We have the most amount of floats signed up that we have in a long time. So we are working really hard with Hope Unlimited and are really thankful for them being willing to partner with us. It really helps doing it at the church in the parking lot because it keeps our roads open for longer. So, yep, kicks off at 6, and the Fisher Theater will be serving free hot chocolates. You'll be able to try to keep warm a little bit.
Well, I just want to let everybody know the Vermilion County Conservation District Foundation is providing the horse and buggy rides again this year from 1 o'clock.
At 1 o'clock.
At 1 o'clock until 5.
Yep, and that will be located at the corner of the Fisher right there, so you'll be able to stop by anytime downtown and catch a carriage ride.
Yep. Thank you. We appreciate you all very much. Alderman Butler.
Oh, yes, on December the 6th, Sleep Heavenly Peace is going to build 80 beds on that day from 8 o'clock until we get finished. And it's going to be at the work source on the December the 6th. I have a couple of more questions as well, dealing with alleys. I was approached today that do we own the alleys, or are we maintaining the alleys, or are we supposed to be maintaining the alleys, or is the homeowner supposed to be maintaining the alleys since we don't go through them anymore?
We maintain those by request.
By request.
Yep, you can get online on the Report It app and report your alley, or you can also call Public Works at 431-2288.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, I can share that with them. As far as the cameras in all of our parks, do they still work like to 24 hours?
Yes, sir.
And the one that so we have them all set up at Garfield as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
They're in every one of our parks, Alderman, and they go. So if there is activity in the parks after they're closed, it automatically notifies the police officers, so they're able to respond immediately. I think Chief Yates mentioned this, but we had a couple of young folks who tried to set some stuff on fire. Police were there within minutes. We had someone who unfortunately had a little too much to drink, who drove through the gate at one of our parks, and we were able to be there also within moments. So we are notified. It does not let us know when the squirrels get to dancing, but the rest of it, actual activity from folks, yes, sir, it lets us know.
Yeah. Okay, and the one at the pool as well, I know they took the canvas off on the end. I didn't know if somebody tore it off or we just took it off. Is cameras in that area as well? I know I had a tour on it on that the southwest fence.
I'll have to check into that. You say the one that's missing is the southwest fence
Yes.
area? Okay, I'll make a note and we'll have to go check that tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. There. So otherwise, then if somebody took it off the camera, pick them up. There's a camera sitting there. Okay. The other question I had is how long and does a person has to when they get borrowed from the city buildings or any building, how long does that last? What do they have to do to make a right to come back, and who regulates that?
It depends on the behavior. That's a decision that's made by me as the administrator, and that's something that will be reviewed, and it's something that we intend to review at the end of the year to hopefully make some adjustments.
Oh, so it's yearly when you review that person?
It's not. There is not a set process in place.
Okay. Yeah, but you're the only one that make that decision.
That's correct. Yes, Alderman Pickering.
I'd just like to thank anyone that was involved in last Saturday night. It was gorgeous downtown. The lighting was just absolutely gorgeous. The families that were down there, the people that were down just did my heart good to see everybody down there. So thank you.
You're welcome. Speaking of things that have changed, Alderman Arns, that's one of them. You'll remember I voted against Christmas lights regularly, but it's because we didn't have the money at that time.
You did? Come on.
We have the money, then you can do those things. So
Exactly.
Yeah, because it really looks good, man. I mean, coming up through there, man, it looked like one of those Hallmark movies there,
About half.
That one tree's missing its upper half, though.
Oh, yes.
It's only lit up about 4 feet.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are a few things where we've had a few shortages that our team is working on that they'll have done soon. So, but thank you all. Seeing the kids and their
That was great.
man, if you could have seen that, the kids just in Kresge and Temple Plaza out in the breezy lot, they just had a blast. It was great to see. It did my heart good. Having satisfied yes, Alderman
Mayor,
Bashar.
also, my friend that owns Obsidian Coffee,
Yes.
he sold out by noon Saturday because of the crowds and the volume of people downtown. That's a good thing to sell out.
Absolutely.
And he had to actually reorder and restock before he could open up the rest of this week. That's a good thing.
That's the kind of thing we love to hear. All right, having satisfied the agenda, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.
I'm sure you